Are you going to cover the conservative civil war over whether or not it's gay to find Southern tomboys attractive? Yeah, that sounds like it's in my wheel. I know what you're talking about. I've seen conservatives like negatively polarize themselves against like women who love doing fun shit like mudding and like catfishing, catfish hunting. Like these are conservative staples that used to be, important. And I think like noodling, sorry, not catfish hunting, noodling. Yeah, that's the proper term for it. And I guess like conservatives now think that that's gay. If you like a woman who likes the same shit that you're into, like that must mean it's gay. Which, cool. More for everybody else, right? So yeah, we're back. We're freaking back. Thank you, Themasius. Seriously, what's up with Chuz? Like, why are they into now disliking everything? Recapping Hollywood's biggest night, Jonathan Glazer. I think honestly, so much love and so much respect for Jonathan Glazer. Straight up, I tweeted about it immediately after, but like, as far as the Kate Middleton conspiracy, I'm going to talk about that too. There's so much news. There's so much news going on. But yeah, let's get started with the Oscars. Okay, first and foremost, massive protests outside of where it was supposed to take place, which apparently caused some of the glitz and glamorous Hollywood stars to actually walk the streets in their outfits, in their little outfits, because there was, they shut down access to it. So let's
took over multiple intersections in Hollywood, calling for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war, causing some stars to show up late to the 96th Academy Awards. At least one protester was arrested. The red carpet leading into the Dolby Theater was cordoned off for several blocks in every direction, with a security checkpoint on Hollywood Boulevard.
This is just such like police state, honestly. Such police stage, straight up. Gay sex is least harmful for the environment as you have 0% chance of producing a kid. Suck a cock for future generations. Thank you. Why haven't you talked about Joe Rogan guest who cut up a whole body and hid him in his freezer? I don't know. What? That sounds insane. I think probably because I don't really care about who Joe Rogan has on as a guest. Because who cares? Yeah, all right. This is cool. This is fun. Big Oscar year for the whites. Dude, I'm sorry. It's a good year for movies, and it was a good year for fucking for the Oscars. Stop. I hate that like conservatives have now become the most annoying fucking guys out there, who they always were, obviously, but now they're doing the exact same thing that like annoying liberals were doing, but this time from the conservative side. So it's doubly annoying because at least the liberals had like empathy and morality on their side. Conservatives are just as smarmy and just as annoying in their identity politics, and it's also immoral. So shut the fuck up. It's just like doubly shitty. It's doubly shitty. How did you do this? How did you arrive at the worst possible fucking position on this issue? Like, they went from Oscars so white, Oscars so woke, to like, Oscars literally so white, and it's awesome. Shut the fuck up. Just make movies, watch movies, enjoy movies. I'm sick and tired of this fucking nonsense. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. They are the rad libs now. Just fucking enjoy shit. Why can you not have fun at all? Why? Why is it like impossible to have fun? Movies bad though? No, they're not. Movies very good. This year, great year for movies, even though there was massive fucking strikes happening. And this upcoming year now, 2024, already started out with a goddamn banger with Dune 2. Okay? Movies are back. And everyone is saying it. Everyone is saying it. Once I saw Barbenheimer double feature, I was like, that's it. Movies are fucking back, baby. They're back. They are. Whether you like it or not, they are so back, okay, in a big way. Doing two bitches at the same damn time, that's what I'm talking about, dude. I love that they're erasing the historic and well-deserved win of Davine Rudolph from the Holdovers. Yeah. It's just like, it's lame. Please talk about Al Pacino announcing Best Picture like he was reading a menu. Yeah, I know. Well, he's Al Pacino, so he can do whatever the freak he wants. But anyway, let's do the recap real quick, and then I'll get to the conservatives fucking complaining and being like, oh, wokeness is dead. I saw Sydney Sweeney's titties. It's like, dude. None of the things that you are mentioning are political, okay? The Oscars is still incredibly fucking libbed up. It was always libbed up as an institution. And obviously, as a liberal institution, it has some conservative reactionary values, right? That's the reason why you see like open applause for 20 Days of Maripol, which it deserves for the record. But then like it's relatively controversial to talk about Gaza in similar terms. Like there's obviously like some reactionary shit, some liberal shit, some things that are permissible, some things that are not. The notion that like the notion that Cillian Murphy winning Best Actor is somehow woke or not woke is idiotic. It was stupid when the fucking Radlibs were talking about it under similar terms as well, by the way, to be like, oh wow, this is really messed up. I can't believe like they're not celebrating any they're not celebrating enough like people of color as actors. Like it was dumb. But they were right. Morally they were right, because an argument is to be made about more diversity, more representation, which makes better cinema overall. So on that front, there's at least a little bit of a crumb of like truth to the argument on there's a what? Why are you a rape apologist? Bro, what is happening, my boy? What the fuck? Where is this guy coming from? I'm talking about the Oscars. This motherfucker said, why are you a rape apologist? Are you okay? Dude's been following since 2021. Previously 1 month subscriber. Are you all right? Take your medication, dog. Take your medication, homie. Big homie, take your medication. You need your medication. Anyway, this is what happens when you start dodging the free subs. This is why you shouldn't watch Poor Things. It's the New York Times article thing. Are they saying that white people are better? Everything by default and should always get the awards? Aren't they just admitting to be racist? I mean, they are always admitting that they're racist. You know where he came from? I don't know where he came from. Anyway, I genuinely don't know because I don't have Twitter anymore on my phone. So I literally just like post, and then like yesterday when I was watching the Oscars, I saw the Zone of Interest speech and I was like, oh, I want to tweet about this. I literally ran upstairs, grabbed my laptop, tweeted, and then closed the laptop, never looked at it again. I only have Twitter on my desktop and my laptop. I don't have it on my phone anymore. You still have it on your phone? Now it's another app with an X for an icon. Yeah, good one. Yeah. Why not? Because it's just like an incredibly right-wing shitty space, and I feel like it makes me feel bad. That's it. That's literally it. I constantly am seeing awfulness all the time. And like as a part of my job, I already have to read a lot of awful shit anyway. And I was thinking like, God damn, why am I so like, I don't think it's good for my brain to constantly see like right-wing propaganda all the time from like the stupidest people. Why do you use it at all? Because it's still, there's still a lot going on there. There's still a lot of discourse on there. There's still journalists on there. I still rely on it. Like there's a level of usefulness still to Twitter. It's just that it's not useful for me to be on it all the time. In the past, I felt like it was useful for me to be on it all the time, but I can live without the constant like Nazi propaganda. What? Everything Now Show, just a fan of yours from 2010's Comedy Tumblr and Twitter, Andrea Streeter, cheers. The fuck's going on? Chatters are talking to one another. Shouts out Andrea Streeter. What is happening here? Stop talking to one another. This is I feel like when the class is talking to each other, calling everyone Nazi, of course. Yeah, I know. I can't believe I'm doing that. Like, what's next, dude? Are you going to say VDARE is a white nationalist institution? Wow, dude. They're just national socialist, okay? Except they're not even socialist at all. They're just nationalist and just want to restrict immigration to whites only. What do you mean? That's like perfectly valid position, I think. Anyway, how do you say teacher in Turkish? It's a hard one. Öğretmen. There's like 4 letters in there that you don't have in the English language. Move over to Blue Sky to get inundated with drama posts and dick pics. No, I hate Blue Sky too, because Blue Sky also has the same Blue Sky is like the mentally ill leftists who are like all rad libs who say stuff like, you know, it's ableist to talk about Gaza or some I don't, I can't even come up with something clever. Okay. No, it's just, I don't care. I don't want to hear about like blue sky liberals either. Blue skies for the 37-year-olds who everyone else muted in 2018. Yeah. So, Anatomy of a Fall cast wearing Palestine pins. Yes, everybody was wearing Palestine pins. They were wearing Artists for Ceasefire pins. Like there was a lot of pro-Palestine messaging, which was genuinely shocking to me, I think. Because like, let's be real, dude. Oscars is like one of those institutions that's ride or die, okay? Not for Israel in general. I'm talking like whatever the American State Department says goes. After all, these are institutions that literally work with the military, right? Like, and do a lot of promotion for the military. So seeing a lot of the actors beyond like the Mark Ruffalos of the world, who you expect to be like woke, it was cool. It was really interesting. It was cool. It was cool to see. I think it speaks to how unimaginably cruel the situation is, that like you have more people now demonstrating the bravery of taking on a position that is like anti-Israel and pro-Palestinian. This is, I think a lot of people were afraid after October 7 to say anything for understandable reasons because, you know, it was very brutal. It was violent, and it was something that shocked people to the core. But seeing, what? Wearing a ceasefire pin but not saying the actual word is the same equivalent as when celebrities were posting black squares on Instagram worthless. No, it is not the same. Of wearing black squares on Instagram. No, I don't think so at all. No, I think it's a pretty fucking solid statement. At this point, it's not even anti-Israel to say ceasefire. It's not, but pro-Israel people do regard it as anti-Israel because fucking it's insane. Yeah, they're saying like Billie Eilish is a dude. I'm telling you, she's wearing an anti-Semitic Hamas supporting red button. She's a bigot. Like, that's what I mean. There is a lot of like psycho shit that we're gonna talk about in a second. Let me just go through this.
Inside the theater, Al Pacino made everyone nervous. Father of the atomic bomb also won Best Actor, Best Cinematographer.
Let me tell you something, okay? You know who I actually was shocked by? What I was expecting more from? Cillian Murphy. When he said, "I'm Irish to the bone," I was like, oh my God, he's doing it. He's going to say Free Palestine. And then he capped it off with, shouts out to all the peacemakers around the world. We're living in a post-Oppenheimer world. Shouts out to all the peacemakers around the world. I was like, come on, bro. Come on. You're literally Irish. Your existence there on stage is like, this is the most pro-Palestinian country on the fucking planet in the Western Hemisphere. What are we talking about right now? The global North. When someone says, I'm Irish to the bone, I immediately assume, okay, you know, he's about to say some shit about Palestine. That's what I think. Anyway, Irish people aren't that left-wing law. Look at the history of the Irish Free State. Irish people, left-wing, right-wing, doesn't matter, have historically been in support of Palestine. Like, it doesn't matter. You can be like homophobic and anti-abortion, right? And still be pro-Palestine, which I just described like half of the Irish government's position. Well, not the government, but like the Irish population's position just now. Like they've always seen Palestinian oppression as a dual struggle, like in a similar vein to the oppression that they face from the British. That's it. Nah, Quebec is the most free Palestine country in the West. Maybe because of Denis Villeneuve. So, anyway, do you think, and forgive me if I missed it, but I feel the Finns are more performative, specifically in Billie Eilish's case, where she won, had a pin and a platform to say something she already has, and was still silent. I'm not saying it's their job. But I don't know, the pins really mean anything. I mean, it's It's the least. There's a reason why many people don't do it, because it is like, it's still a statement. Hollywood is, and as we know, as I've covered extensively, allergic to any mention of like Palestine. Hollywood across the board is very reactionary towards Palestinian struggle. Look at what fucking happened to Melissa Barrera. They made an example out of her. Okay. I've already told you, like, listen, I have experienced it myself personally from people who have literally been like, yeah, you got to fucking dial it back, big dog, on the Israel-Gaza stuff. You know, it's a little too hot for us. You know, I've told you this. Yeah, people get blacklisted and shit. Anyway, so where was I? No Hassan biopic coming anytime soon. Yeah, I think it's a good thing overall. I do definitely wish that more people would speak out. I wish everyone had like a zone of interest type speech ready to go, locked in the chamber. Don't even try it. Down. Good girl. They gave one of the worst movies the most overt forms of propaganda, Best Picture, The Hurt Locker. Exactly. Like, Hollywood isn't like pro-Israel in the anti-Semitic conspiracy way either, by the way. It's like pro-Israel in the most like State Department propaganda ways possible. There are certainly a lot of people who are hyper-Zionist, like ultra-Zionist across the board. And then there are woke kings like the guy heading the agency that I'm with, who are liberal Zionists, like Ari Emanuel. It's true. Very much anti-Netanyahu. That's right. Ari is anti-Netanyahu. So just remember that. Anyway. Maybe that's why I haven't been dropped. But yeah, the Ukrainian documentary speech was very tense. I thought it was very good. I get what he was saying. He said that I wish I didn't have to make this movie. I wish I never got this Oscar. I would trade it for Russia not invading Ukraine in a heartbeat, which makes total sense. Killian's politics have been well known for many years to those who just learned his name because of Oppenheimer. I get it. No, that's why I said, that's why I'm shocked, because of his politics. That's why I'm shocked that he didn't say anything. And he went with the cowardly route by being like, I'm Irish. Shouts out to the peacemakers. Anyway. Yeah.
Best score and best director. And Robert Downey Jr.
By the way, Oppenheimer deserved it. Anybody that says it didn't is a fucking liar, okay?
Yeah, it really was a good show. And one of those Ken backup dancers says that the group practiced for 2 days in the theater lobby, sometimes until 10 o'clock at night.
It's wild. Yeah, you're right. Well, he's not even a singer primarily is not true. I think he was in like an indie band or something, right? Early on in his career. So he definitely has like, he has that dog in him. He certainly has that background. But Man's Bones, is that what it's called? Killers of the Flower Song Nom was good as well. He was literally in the Mickey Mouse Club. Lamau, not a singer, my ass. Yeah, he definitely is like a very talented guy. He definitely is a very talented dude. So it's not shocking to me that he just kind of clapped up. He was not, I guess the point is, he was not like a 100% singer-songwriter. And there were 100% down singer-songwriters there that actually didn't do as good of a job as him. All right, let's get to this. I think this is the most important part of the night, from my perspective at least. Like, I thought the John Cena naked stuff was funny, but I'm going to talk about Jonathan Glazer. Jonathan Glazer is the director and now Oscar award winner for Zone of Interest. I have not seen Zone of Interest yet. I really, really want to watch it, but I understand it. I get it. I've seen Zone of Interest type movies at the very least a million times over, even though this movie in and of itself does not go the played out cliche route of the Holocaust movies, some of which are phenomenal and obviously masterpieces. Others are basically just fucking, just rehashing the same like Oscar bait stuff. Jonathan Glazer, wrote a movie or made a movie about off of book about the banality of evil and also the self-interest that people demonstrate even in times of like intense cruelty. Tragedy Oscar bait is the normal trope, yes, but I think that it takes a very interesting, very different look talking about the normalization of cruelty. Exactly, like how normal people operate next to fucking Auschwitz, right? And I think that is obviously a very important story and a very important framework, especially considering the parallels between what is going on in Gaza, right? The normalization of cruelty that comes with a fascist government. And we are there. We're there. This is like what's going on. And what's going on in Israel is a great parallel. And I would have been shocked, like I said, like I tweeted yesterday, I would have been shocked if he didn't actually bring that up. But he did. And for that, a lot of people are yelling at him, as a matter of fact. By the way, thank you, Majority Report, for the raid. Hope to see Sam Seder, Uncle Sam, soon. Okay? I'm going to have him on the broadcast in a little bit. I said, Glazer made a movie about the banality of evil during the Holocaust. It would have been odd if he didn't mention the parallels to Gaza. Respect for saying something to an otherwise hostile room. Remember, they booed Michael Moore's speech for criticizing the Iraq War. Jonathan Glazer calls for a ceasefire, highlights the importance of separating political conflicts from the shared humanity and suffering experienced by all involved parties. So, you mean the Nazis are shouting at him? Jonathan can glaze my zone of interest anytime. Okay. Jonathan Glazer's speech was blacklisted from the Oscars YouTube account, Lamau. Yes. Here's the thing, okay? And look, let's just hear what his speech is, and then I'll go through it. I mean, why is saying it on the stage so important? The people that watch this shit are sheep anyways? Dude, what are you talking about? First of all, that's like the majority of the planet. Everyone is a sheep. Okay? The entire point is waking up sheep. The people cheering and clapping aren't the Americans. Let me out. Yeah. So I think that was a massive deal. Okay? That was a massive deal. It's the biggest stage. His movie directly talks about it. He openly says using Judaism and the Holocaust in the name of like contributing to atrocities that people face akin to like the similarities are there, the mechanized version of death that befalls upon a largely civilian population. Like it's a perfect take. Okay? It was a very brave thing for him to say. And the reason why it's a very brave thing for him to say, obviously, like a lot of you are brain broken from hearing me constantly fucking talk about this, but there's a very big difference between me talking about this on my stream versus saying it at the fucking Oscars after winning as a Jewish man, winning a award for your movie that literally talked about the Holocaust. The fact that you're bringing that up there, he is the perfect person to talk about this, okay? The perfect person, the singular perfect person to talk about this on that stage was him. And he did it. He used the moment. So, I mean, it's just like he has literally all the backing and all the credibility. And guess what, dude? The ADL is fucking big mad, of course. So many ultra-Zionists are so unimaginably ass-pained over this shit, okay? There was what is that Noah Tishby lady was like, I cannot believe how fucking anti-Jewish the Hollywood liberals have become. And it's like, dude, what the fuck are you saying? You are the most delusional person on the fucking planet, dude. They are all Hamas supporters. Like, fuck you. Anyway, ADL, Times of Israel, accepting Oscar. Glazer says, don't use our Jewishness and Holocaust to justify Gaza war. Director of award-winning The Zone of Interest Holocaust movie laments occupation, dehumanization in Israel and Gaza. Several celeb wear pins calling for ceasefire. As widely predicted, Oppenheimer, the biopic of Jewish nuclear scientist J. Robert Oppenheimer, swept a number of categories at Sunday's Oscars, including Best Picture, in a year unusually heavy with Jewish nominees. But the most talked about Jewish moment of the night came courtesy of Jonathan Glazer, writer-director of the cerebral Holocaust drama. Dude, it's kind of funny. I just realized that, like, two dudes that were up for best male actor were two Gentiles that were portraying themselves as Jewish men. I didn't even put that together. That's crazy. You had fucking Bradley Cooper and Cillian Murphy. That's wild. Anyway, there was an end Jewish hate commercial during the Oscars too. Yeah, exactly. There was like there was a literal like anti-Semitism ad and everything. Standing alongside producer James Wilson and Len Blavatnik during his acceptance speech for the Best International Feature, Glazer, who is Jewish and came to Israel on a 5-month program with a student at London Jewish Free School, denounced Israel's occupation of Palestinian territory, which he said had led to dehumanization that had affected both Israelis and Palestinians. Our film shows where dehumanization leads at its worst. It's all shaped all of our past and present. Right now, we stand here as men who refute their Jewishness and the Holocaust being hijacked by an occupation, which has led to conflict for so many innocent people, whether the victims of October 7th in Israel or the ongoing attack in Gaza. He added to the applause and cheers. This part is really important. Okay? He is directly pointing out the atrocities of October 7 and laying the blame in the hands of the Israeli occupation where it fucking belongs. He is right to say this. This is the correct take. This is a take that would get you fucking blasted a couple months ago. Okay? This is a take that I've had since day fucking one that like the Harvard student coalitions had as well and got punished for it, like aggressively punished for it. Did you see all the lying monsters intentionally cutting the quota? We denounce our Jewishness. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know what they were saying, but Jonathan Glazer, you hijacked the Oscars for a naive, selfish, and vile narrative blaming the victim. Gaza was not occupied on October 7. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Glazer's reference to Israel's war in Gaza came after pro-Palestinian protesters snarled traffic around the Dolby Theater as Oscars kicked off. In a previous acceptance speech last month, Wilson criticized innocent people being killed in Gaza as something people should face head on rather than from behind. The walls we construct in our lives, which we choose not to look behind, in an allusion to the film's depiction of Nazis and their families as willfully ignorant of the murder of Jews just beyond their gardens. So the entire fucking point of like zone of interest is literally you can smell the crematoriums in Auschwitz. You can smell it. Some people know what it's about. Other people don't. But you should be fucking curious as to what's going on. And many people just know. They know. Deep down inside, they know. They hear the screams. That's the whole point. Okay? That's the whole fucking point. Variety should really correct this. This is not at all what Jonathan Glazer said. It's missing some key words. Right now, we stand here as men who refute their Jewishness. Whether the victims of, yeah, what the fuck? They misquoted them? Jesus Christ. This hard? They purposely misread his speech, basically this. I simply cannot fathom the moral rot in someone's soul that leads them to win an award for a movie about the Holocaust and with the platform given to them to accept that award by saying, we stand here as men who refute their Jewishness. This is a good fucking, what the fuck? The full quote, we stand here as men who refute their Jewishness and the Holocaust being hijacked by an occupation which has led to a conflict for so many innocent people. Ben is so mad about it. Of course he is. In Jonathan Glazer's zone of interest, you don't see one Jew. Those are the best Jews, according to Glazer. The faceless victim screaming in the distance. Ironically, he's the villain, picking up awards from the bodies of these anonymous dead Jews while ignoring the living ones getting slaughtered in Gaza envelope by genocidal murderers. Bro, that's crazy. Ben is the most Israel-coded American Jewish man I've ever seen. Like, down to the fucking wire of, like, just the aggressive militant attitude. Like, how did you develop this, dog? You grew up in Los Angeles. If you say stuff like this, you have to be wearing capri pants and DJing, okay? Like, this is, I'm wearing capri pants and I'm DJing and I'm saying Hamas terror babies energy. You grew up in LA. What the fuck? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Where did you develop this? You don't even listen to techno music. You are not allowed. If you don't listen to the worst techno you've ever fucking seen, you can't have this energy, bro. He went to Walter Reed Middle School and a Jewish high school. That's where he got it. No, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This energy is like this energy is straight up like a very right-wing Israeli energy that Ben should not have at all. Okay, that's my point. Like, this is like learned behavior. Anyway, you are surprised to learn that the world has more sympathy for the victims of a genocide, the Palestinians, rather than its perpetrators, Israelis. I heard from many people you are the best the right has to offer, but this tweet suggests you are an incomplete Israel apologist. I mean, he is, yes. I'm a little confused what he means by refute his Jewishness. Can you explain what he was saying a little? Yes, he's saying we refute our Jewishness and the Holocaust being used by Israel. He's not saying he refutes his Jewishness. He's saying he refutes Israel's utilization of Judaism and the memory of the Holocaust to do a genocide. That's crazy, dude. Did you see the guy who tried to dedicate Glazer's Oscar to Israel himself? I dedicate Jonathan Glazer's Oscar to the brave and brilliant men and women of the IDF and the state of Israel. Don't stop till the enemy is defeated. Zionists undefeated and finding new unique things to steal. Like, what do you mean? Nah, I don't care. I don't care what the movie's about. Nah. La 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 la. I can't hear you. It's actually about. I've decided it's actually good. The movie is not telling me what I think it's telling me. I will refuse to learn. It's my Oscar now. Fartlow came out hot. I woke up this morning and felt unbelievable despair about Hollywood. For years, I felt it is a bad place. Okay, I'm doing her accent correctly because remember, she is Scottish, okay? She's Scottish. Eve Fartlow is Scottish. I have witnessed firsthand several times how this epicenter of popularity treats people with courage. Last night, it rewarded people with cowardice. Jews who refute their identity were applauded on the Oscars podium. Non-Jews who wore red pin badges celebrating Jewish lynchings in the name of peace were photographed having the night of their lives. Hours later at Vanity Fair, Mark Ruffalo said humanity is winning. No, Mark, humanity is not winning. Ego, money, and power is. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, that's what she sounds like. Look it up. That's literally, yeah. Another banger from Eve Fartlow. Remember that former banger from Eve Fartlow where she said, just left a massage therapist, saw a free parking sign, thought that the sign said free Palestine. Us Jews are tired. Free parking. Jews are tired. Yeah, Amber Heard's bestie. Oh, yeah. Anyway, you have Brianna Wu falling for Hasbara stickers. Babies are occupiers too. Free Palestine by any means necessary. There is no fucking way this is real, man. Oh, God, she's so stupid. It's crazy how stupid she is. Wait, what? I don't want to go after him publicly, but the concept of baby settlers recently popularized by the #1 Twitch streamer. Then that person ever been in Twitch? Wait, what? Yeah! That's right. That's me. Classic. Thank you for acknowledging that I'm the #1 Twitch streamer on the planet. Everybody stop saying Kai Cenat. Guys, stop saying Kai Cenat. No, she means me because I'm the #1 Twitch streamer. I sent another one of those earlier. It's so fucked. How do people not see this as fake? Yeah, dude, because okay, how much you want to fucking bet this is literally a Black's Rule moment from some Hasbara operation? You only fall for this if you are A, the dumbest person on the fucking planet, like literally just like barely kept alive by modern medicine, or B, you have a lot of motivated reasoning to feel like it. Okay, like you feel like that is exactly what Hamas is all about. That is exactly what the Palestinian struggle is all about. And therefore, this is just like reinforcing your fucking biases. That's it. Is Brianna subsentient or evil? I think she is literally a unique case where she has a little bit of both. I do personally think she's a little bit of both. Like, on the one hand, I think she's very, very, very dumb, considering some of the things that she said, including, but not limited to, talking about Moses parting the Red Sea as though it was a real historical event. She did that. That was crazy. Right? So stuff like that leads me to believe that she actually is kind of dumb and not actually, or Houthini's, that was another good one. Like, stuff like that makes me feel like she's not acting, right? Like, she is actually kind of very stupid. But I do think that it's, you know, there's a level of like, there is a level of clout engineering that plays a role in her behavior as well, considering that like she didn't have any positions at all on this stuff until recently and realized like this will give me an opportunity with like, I don't know, maybe like DNC staffers or some shit for Rebellion Pack. So I do think that it's like a careerist moment for her too. Anyway, it did happen. He did it with a Beyblade. Yeah. She gets too much credit for people, even though her entire career was making one of the ugliest games ever made. Got famous for being yelled at by guys like Quarter Pounder and Milo, and she looks like Marilyn Manson during his court appearances. Oh my God. Jesus Christ, M. Hood. Yeah, this was pretty funny. I said Biden's take on Palestinian lives are disgusting. No other words. He mentions the 30K killed by the IDF as though they're victims of a natural disaster. To which Brianna quote tweeted me, apparently. I didn't even know. Yeah, I was absolutely disgusted by his plans to literally build oceanic infrastructure to ensure steady supply of food gets to the Palestinian refugees. Oceanic infrastructure. What ocean? Does Israel have an ocean near it? Why do these people, here's a very cool way to like recognize that someone is stupid, but portraying themselves as like intelligent, okay? Trying to present themselves as intelligent, okay? It's a sea. It's not an ocean. But she said oceanic because in her fucking mind, it comes across as like intelligent to say oceanic. Just say build a fucking port. That's it. But she don't want to say that because she wants to like genuinely elevate. Like, for a lot of dumb people on Twitter, she wants to come across like more intelligent than she actually is. Anyway, it's fine. It's besides the point. Oceanic infrastructure. To ensure a steady supply of food gets to the Palestinian refugees, no matter what Netanyahu decides. What an asshole. To which Talia Jane absolutely fucking cooked her ass. Talia said, I remember years and years ago when you didn't bootlick for genocide or proudly carry water for meager half measures that could easily be resolved by forcing fascist freaks to stop blocking existing aid. You at least tried briefly to be for the people. I am for the people. The difference between us is I think Jews are also people. The difference between us is that I'm an actual Jew telling you you're on some fascist dog shit. You're a Shonda Goy selling yourself out to chase temporary approval by whoever will give it. For now, ethno-supremacist extremists, knowing deep down inside, none of them will have your back when you need someone to defend your rights. When they're on the chopping block, you will not be remembered. You sold your soul. You're an empty, a tool, a replaceable glass gleefully being filled by arbiters of hate on the comical delusion you're doing anything remarkable, a paragon of uselessness. Why did you block me, Brianna? I thought you said you believe Jews are people. Am I not a person? If you prick me, do I not bleed? Holy fuck. God damn. Talia fucking absolutely destroyed her. Talia, for the record, was the one who exposed the Tyler Oliveira shit early on. Remember Tyler Oliveira, the YouTuber that we looked at, who was like talking about how he was interviewing random New Yorkers about the Jewish tunnels and also immigrants somehow that are connected. Okay, but yeah, it was great. And she toasted Brianna pretty aptly. She might be in here right now. She's great. She broke the Aaron Bushnell story as well. Yes, that's right. And also did a really good job with that as well. She was very careful and considerate, got consent from Aaron's family before revealing the footage, and literally said that like Aaron wanted this footage to be out there, and Aaron's family wanted this footage to be out there as well. She's great. Quiet. So yeah. Okay. We're gonna move on from this. Fucking Ben, dude. I don't know. I just like it's so ridiculous, dude. Anyway, much respect to Jonathan Glazer, like I said. What a fucking G. What an absolute G for openly coming out there and being like, listen, not in our name. This is bullshit. Okay. I have so much respect for a dude who was the most qualified to talk about this on stage. And now everybody's yelling at him. The ADL, which is a fraudulent institution at this point, okay, ultimately, in its inception, it was for a very good cause. Obviously, anti-Semitism is horrible and should be stopped. ADL is now Apartheid Defense League through and through, okay? Apartheid Defense League to the goddamn bone, okay? Holy shit. She's in here. Law, hi again, Hassan. Hope you're having a lovely day. What is this? Brianna is on some straight Nazi shit. What is this? Good morning, trans Twitter screaming at me for... I don't care. Don't show me any more stuff of Brianna Wu, okay? It's irrelevant. Like, even when she says dumb shit, it is irrelevant, okay? Hi, Talia. It is irrelevant. Brianna does this thing where, like, she's just farming. She's farming the other fucking dumbasses on Twitter. That's it. Twitter is now, like, unfortunately, a right-wing shithole full of the dumbest people you've ever fucking seen. And you can get hugboxed by them if you agree with them. That's it. And that's what Brianna is doing. What is this? Michael Rappaport? Let's go. My goat.
Why do you weak-ass, as a Jews have Jewish in your profile?
Yeah, tell it to him. Tell it to him, Michael. He's the beacon, the paragon of strength, dude. Yeah. God, I love him. At least he's like, out of all of the Hasbara ultra nationalists out there, I think Michael is the most tolerable. He sucks so bad, but like at least he's watchable. You know what I mean? Brett Gelman, unwatchable in my opinion. Amy Schumer, unwatchable. But when Michael goes off, I'm like, that's my guy.
File or Jew for ceasefire. I'm a Jew for...
Like, he always seems like he's going to do a rap battle for defending Israel. It's like, any one of you that wants to take it up, I will fucking put the mic on and do a rap battle for Israel. Do you understand? Yeah. They call it a genocide. But the real genocide was October 7th. Recognize. If you don't like techno music, you can fuck off.
Palestine in your profile, huh? Why do you feel the need to explain that? You think you get good guy points for that bullshit? It shows how much you care.
No, dude, no. It's because people genuinely have, like, I know this is really hard, okay? I know this is really hard for you to comprehend because you're a piece of shit. But people, okay? But other people legitimately look at that and go, that's fucking insane, okay? That's really bad. And they probably have a real distaste in Israel doing all of this stuff while simultaneously saying that they're doing it for Judaism when it is so far removed, okay? That's the difference.
Or how evolved you are from all the other Jewish people.
Yeah. Hamas is being a sucker MC, yo.
You weak-ass, self-hating. You have no knowledge of self. You could post as many watermelons and flags and explain this, that, and the third. But know this.
Okay.
If you were in Israel on October 7th, you would be raped, kidnapped, murdered, and had your homes burnt down with you and all your Jewish family in them, just like all the other Jews. If they had a chance, those radical jihadists, to get...
So, like, when on October 8th, victims, survivors from Kibbutz Be'eri, when they were saying that this is a direct consequence of Israel's apartheid, Israel's occupation, okay? Is Michael Rappaport owning them in the marketplace of ideas as well? He's like, you're a fake Jew, unlike me in New York. Safe and sound, right? Like they were saying it too. It's just it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Glazer is a descendant of survivors of the Kishinev pogrom, which was one of the major justifications used for the Zionist movement and the need for a Jewish state in the early 1900s.
Get their hands on you. Never, ever, 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 ever forget. You could post all you want, but if they had a chance, they would treat you as a Jew, you weak ass, embarrassing.
I think that like the notion, and this is like very real in ultra Zionist circles, like if you criticize Israel, you're just like anti-Semitic, is just so damaging to the discourse, and it's completely shut off some people from like from basically seeing the light in this situation. It's just like there are a lot of people who saw the atrocities on October 7. It broke their brains, and they were just like, "I'm done. No, it's over. I'm looking for only people who agree with me, and anyone who disagrees with me on this issue it must be straight up an anti-Semite." And it's like, no matter how many Israelis, Jews, Holocaust historians, like no matter who is like, hey dog, this is an apartheid, he doesn't want to listen to it. Okay, that's it. No more information can come in. Exactly. It's just I'm shutting out anyone that opposes this take. Anyone and everyone. All right, let's listen to the Jimmy Kimmel monologue, opening monologue, briefly. Not even other Jewish people. Yeah, don't. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, I see it. Like, I've heard it. I've heard it myself. Like the treatment of anti-Zionist Jews as though they're like self-hating Jews is an inherently anti-Semitic thing to say. Like calling them capos and shit. And it's crazy. Anyway, what is this? To be honest, I think Dan is only seeing half the picture. Okay, that's a good one. Bars. Dan is always seeing half the picture. I hate Jimmy Kimmel. Did you see Emma Stone call him a prick? Emma Stone should be celebrated and defended and cherished. She's incredible. She must be protected at all costs. Anyone that hurts her, anyone that hurts her, I will stand in their way. No, she stole Lily's Oscar. Honestly, I think like, dude, I'm saying this partially because of her speech. Like, I thought she was being very real. She was fucking bawling her eyes out, trying to hold her tears back from all the emotions. Don't forget, you'll always be Jewish. The world will never let you forget. So support the genocidal state. Is that what Michael Rappaport said? I don't know. Anyway, here. Also, I forgot to run the top of the hour ad break, so I'm running it now. And you can subscribe to avoid seeing those ads. The 3-minute ad break at the top. Okay, I think we'll skip it. This was the only line that was like very libbed up, and it was conservabate. And I don't even think the conservatives ate this. Do leftists ever enjoy things? No, they don't. Leftism is about being permanently unable to enjoy things, because enjoying things, depending on what kind of leftist you are, is either bourgeois decadence or morally degenerate. Okay? The morally degenerate part is like the same as the conservative saying it too. Anyway. It's just it's jokes are morally abhorrent because you are laughing, and laughter in a world that is succumbed to so much inequality and injustice means that you're basically laughing at the victims. You are laughing in a world where no one is, right? In a world where the lesser fortunate do not have the capacity to laugh. So if you have fun, if you enjoy things, you are basically enjoying the death and destruction all around you. That's how I see it. That's what being a leftist is all about. Yeah, the more we suffer, the better we are.
Can we talk about the Oscars? The 96th annual Oscars were held last night in Hollywood. If you couldn't stay up that late, Oppenheimer came into the night with 13 nominations. And
if you couldn't stay up that late, fuck you mean? It started at goddamn 4 p.m., dude. The fuck? It started at 4 p.m., 7 p.m., okay? 7 p.m. Eastern. Who can't stay up past 7 p.m. Eastern? What the fuck?
Ended up with the most wins, including Best Picture.
Morning Joe is talking to an audience of one. Joe Brandon is talking to an audience that woke up. This is at 4 a.m., okay? 4 a.m. Mountain Time, I guess. So what is that? What would that be?
Best Actor for Cillian Murphy. Best Supporting Actor for Robert Downey Jr.
Americans think there's only one time zone. My friends, this is MSNBC. Okay? It's not like this is CNN International. It's not like this is the BBC. Okay? This is a East Coast television program speaking to a broadly American audience. So the notion that like this was too late for the East Coast is hilarious. They specifically made it earlier, I think.
Emma Stone won Best Actress for her role in Poor Things, and Best Supporting Actress went to Da'Vine Joy Randolph for her role in The Holdover.
Damn, she did a great job with that name.
That was amazing. The Oscars also featured show-stopping performances from singer Billie Eilish and actor Ryan Gosling, both performing songs from the Barbie soundtrack. And at the end of the night, Jimmy Kimmel took a minute to read former President Trump's reaction to his hosting.
I just got a review, and
I think there's something to be said about Donald Trump's poetic writing being funnier inherently than Jimmy Kimmel trying to make a joke out of it.
has there ever
One's a natural, the other one's trying too hard, is what I mean.
been a worse host than Jimmy Kimmel at the Oscars? His opening was that of a less than average person trying too hard to be something which he is not and never can be. Get rid of Kimmel and perhaps replace him with another washed up but cheap ABC talent.
Ugh. A qualified dirtbag joke that wasn't even funny. Jimmy Kimmel does this on the night Downey wins his first Academy. It's people like Jimmy Kimmel that turn people off from watching this garbage. It's as if Kimmel is envious of how much RDJ is loved. Yeah, I think it's like a whack ass joke, but who gives a shit ultimately? He was being a decent sport about it. It's a bad joke in general, but like, I don't know, getting fucking this mad about it is like pretty funny. As you say, everyone is a lib. Exactly. Every single person is a liberal at the end of the day. My uncle smoked crack with him in MacArthur Park. That's awesome. Did you see Mulaney cooking his bit? I did. John Mulaney did a pretty funny bit. Even made fun of Madam Web. And then the John Cena joke was like pretty funny as well. It's like a classic overall. Yeah, I mean it was fine. It was fine. The one redeeming quality theater kids have is their ability to not be themselves, and these award shows are them being their hollow selves, which is why it's so cringe and terrible to watch. I like the glitz and glamour and the celebration of cherished artists and art in general. I do think cinema is art. I do think movies are art, and it's a pretty valid form of art. So, it's fine. I don't really give a shit. I have not personally seen, Nolan's. Speaking of art, Nolan's bit about it was pretty good too, saying that this is a 100-year-old medium, and the fact that like they are cherishing, like he said he doesn't know where it's going to go. Like imagine theater or painting 100 years in, who knows where this will go, but the fact that you think I have played a significant role in this process is phenomenal, and I thought that was really cool. Like that was a great testament. That was a great statement in general. Oppenheimer has really made me forget that he made Tenet, is what I mean. It's just great movie overall. Totally made me forget that he made Tenet and is secretly trying to make everyone as deaf as he is, personally. Oh, Tenet is great. You are just wrong. Yes, dude. It's so great. It's so sick. I love watching Memento with worse and increasingly worse audio. I love watching a phenomenal movie and in worse versions of the same movie that is phenomenal. Nolan's legacy on audio makes being awful. I mean, that part is true. Unlimited budget after a banger is a Hollywood trope. Yeah. Instead of the story moving backward, the audio does. Dude, listen, I 100% believe that, oh yeah, thinking must hurt. Sorry, you're a himbo. Yeah, dude, it's so, Tenet, it makes you question everything. Yeah, it did. It made me question why it is so hard to hear the characters, okay? On OTT platform, the audio is good, but I don't know why in cinema the audio is pretty messed up. No, it wasn't pretty good. I watched it OTT platform. Here are the pins for Palestine.
Artists for ceasefire.
Guys, in the center. Straight ahead right here, please. Thank you.
Straight ahead.
And Billy right here, Billy. Guys, together, straight ahead. And looking right here.
Smart, right here.
Yo, bro.
This pin?
I watched Tenet's IMAX reissue. It was just as bad in the theater. Yeah. Anyway, what? Seen people reacting to the pins because of this? Is this accurate? I'm out of touch. What? Blood of butchered Israelis is on their hands, literally. Apparently, people don't realize that's where the Oscar red pin comes from. I'm floored. How could they not? What? Dude, this has 37 likes. What do you mean? Like, you saw a tweet with 37 likes and you were like, this is discourse? They're saying the pin is actually butchered. The bloody hands in the pin are actually not Palestinian hands, but instead Israeli hands. Is that what you're saying? Most celebrities wearing red pins don't know that the image of the red hands is associated with one horrific event imprinted in the minds of Israelis and Palestinians. The 2000 Ramallah lynching of Israelis. This symbolism isn't a coincidence. Yeah. That's, I mean, dude, it's not that shocking. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Israel invented blood on your hands. That's right. Just like it invented falafel, just like Israel invented shawarma, just like Israel invented hummus, Israel also famously invented, you have blood on your hands. The statement. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, Israel invented feta cheese, coffee, baklava, and also the blood on your hands. You have blood on your hands. The way they're scrambling for PR points is insane. Like, that's not what this pin means at all. Yeah. Yeah, before the year 2000, when Israel invented you have blood on your hands, no one ever said it. Chad is asking where Sam Cedar is. He's currently about 11 miles away. He's live streaming his rollerblading to Hassan's at rumble.com/themajority report/live. Yeah. Yeah. Israel also invented civilization in the Middle East, invented democracy also. Yes. 1948. The year that democracy was invented. They invented Qaddaif too. Yes, of course. And also another thing that Israel invented was the keffiyeh. Just a lot of stuff. All right. Speaking of the last bit of the insanity and the conservative reception to the Oscars. Wokeness is dead. Well, that was surprising, says Elon Musk. Best picture, all white cast. Best supporting actor, white guy. Best actor, white guy. Best actress, white chick. Best director, white guy. How fucking desperate are you to turn around and utilize Oscars so white, but then say it's like a positive? Winning an Oscar now just means you won the woke contest. Guess I was wrong. And then, of course, you have the John Cena was actually doing a humiliation ritual for the Illuminati takes. Twitter is just insane now. It's just insane. Winning an Oscar now just means you won the woke contest. They should rename it as Wokewood or Holly Woke. Yes. Just the greatest discourse, dude. Just the greatest fucking just a bunch of like very dumb people who are only creative when it comes to like being incredibly mentally unwell. Elon caught workshop in that tweet. The genius gears turn. Winning an Oscar now just means you won the woke contest. Winning an Oscar now just means you were the best quisling. What? Ugh. Okay. I think it's worth noting that I have not sent you an Elon link in several months now, by the way. I know, it's pretty funny that it's not even Megaphonics anymore. It's everyone else has become Megaphonics. RD hates people talking about his past. I get it, dude. He's like moved on. I understand it. I think it's like lame as hell to just constantly reducing a man to what he once was is a really shitty thing to do, especially when he's like overcome great odds, right? Addiction is a thing that you carry for the rest of your life. It's a great burden, and it is very, very, very difficult to overcome. And people just like bringing up RDJ's past like that over and over again for like a shitty joke is pretty lame. Robert Downey Jr. is who we're talking about. Also, Godzilla Minus One won, and their cast had Godzilla Minus One heels that they were all wearing, which I thought was pretty sick.
The Palestinian protest shut down the Oscars tonight. Humanity wins. One question about Gaza. Yes, we have to.
His publicist is like, dude, shut the fuck up. Oh, Jesus. Mark Ruffalo, I mean, is classic. The heels are made by a Japanese brand named Hazama. Their designer is Matsurosuke. They'll be selling more of them soon. Yeah, I saw them. They were sick. Here are the heels made by Hazama. It is pretty cool that they did that. I still haven't watched Godzilla Minus One, and I do want to. See ScarJo on SNL? No, I did not watch SNL. These moments seem small and insignificant, but they matter more than people realize, where everyone chooses to be silent in the face of whipping people from their land. Yeah. Godzilla Minus One. Ben Shapiro Dune 2 is hilarious because he pretty much misses the whole point of the story. I wanted to react to that, but I feel like everyone is going to complain about spoilers if I react to it. And I just don't want the fucking onslaught of chat crying about how they still haven't seen Dune 2 as I lose my fucking mind and as I find myself in the throes of mental illness slowly but surely. It's a fucking book that is 60 years old. And multiple movies have been made about it. And it's just like look at this. Do a VOD stream talking about it if you're interested. Thanks, Chat Chan. Yeah, I think I'm not going to do that. I think I'm not going to spend like the 3 hours that I am not live making extra content so that the 300 people who haven't seen it that just want to be annoying will come in to yell about it. We're not going to do it. All right, we're moving on. I've already talked about Dune 2. So let's get to Israel. Joe Brandon had an interview where he talked about red lines, one of them being invading Rafah, where the remaining millions of Palestinians in Gaza are trapped inside of, basically, which was supposed to always be a safe zone, devoid of Israeli incursions. Turns out there are no safe zones in Gaza, which we already knew about. Netanyahu very openly making him look like a fucking bitch, by the way, making Brandon look like a bitch. Let's take a look.
Has the report.
Amid the mounting humanitarian crisis in Gaza, Israel plans to invade Rafah, a Hamas stronghold, but also a refuge to more than 1 million Palestinians. President Biden was asked if that would be a red line.
It is a red line, but I'm never going to leave Israel.
The defense of Israel is still critical. So there's no red line. I'm going to cut off all weapons. But there's red lines that if he crosses, and he cannot have 30.
He's like, there are red lines, but there is no red lines where I'm going to cut off weapons. Like, he can't even get himself to say, like, do not invade Rafah where all the civilians live. You fucking animal. Joe Biden, you old, demented, genocide-dare piece of shit. Oh, my Lord. What an awful way to try and communicate to the entire world that you are definitely not asleep at the wheel. Holy shit, 34MKD50. Thank you for the 50 gifted subs. Jesus Christ. 250, 100 gifted subs. I just don't understand. You are the United States of America. Check this post. I feel like libs can't maintain the bloodlust without backlash. Together we stand. I mean, this is the least shocking thing to see in Houston. Houston has more ultra-Zionists than New York, okay? I don't think people understand. Houston, Dallas, these are the real areas, hotbeds of ultra-Zionism. Evangelical Christians. You've never seen a televangelist church sermon if you do not understand this take. The entirety of the South of the United States of America, the Deep South, every fucking evangelical church is the most ardent supporters of the state of Israel. They are also the number one supporters of the settlements in the West Bank. There is a theological justification from their perspective. We've talked about it a lot. It is not even remotely shocking to see Together We Stand posters out there by some of the most anti-Semitic people, by the way. Yes, I see the graffiti. It says Together We Stand in Genocide. I know. Yeah, this is something to remember. The two people I knew in college who were really pro-Israel were evangelicals with an Israeli flag and a poster of Reagan in their room. Yup. Biden, once again, doing the worst, trying to fucking communicate a position that is, comprehensible. And then Benjamin Netanyahu taking Biden's position that is already incomprehensible and making it comprehensible, claiming that Biden is actually offering a red line, and then saying, fuck your red line.
1,000 more Palestinians dead.
In response, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed his military will go to Rafah regardless.
I have a red line. You know what the
Joel Sivera, thank you for the 5 get the subs.
red line is? That October 7th doesn't happen again. Never happens again.
This week,
bro, you are responsible for October 7th more than anyone else, okay? You are. Like, oh my God. Okay.
Marks the start of Ramadan, the Islamic holy month, a time of prayer and fasting, but in recent years, violence as well, over Israeli restrictions on accessing Muslim holy sites in Jerusalem. Summer Sinijlawi is an activist with the Palestinian political party Fatah.
I wish the Americans will be able to put more pressure in the coming few days. It's a ticking bomb situation.
It's a ticking time bomb.
Nobody can tell you what could happen. Something will happen.
Now, President Biden continues to push for a ceasefire deal in exchange for dozens of Israeli hostages still in Hamas captivity for 5 months. But despite that punishing Israeli ground offensive and now the beginning of Ramadan, Hamas refuses to make a deal. Gail?
All right, Chris Livesay reporting from Israel. We thank you.
Fox News alert. President Biden calling out Prime Minister Netanyahu as Israel defends itself from Hamas terrorists who murdered more than 1,200 Israelis and still hold more than 100 hostages.
What is your red line with Prime Minister Netanyahu? For instance, would invasion of Rafah, which you have urged him not to do?
It is a red line, but I'm never going to leave Israel. The defense of Israel is still critical. So there's no red line. I'm going to cut off all weapons so they don't have the Iron Dome to protect.
Biden's line speech is okay. Oh, hold on. I'm waiting for the dog groomer to be here as well, but Sam Seder is landed. Let me see if I can find him real quick. I'm trying. Bro, you really not going to address that framing? Me? No, we're going to talk about all this in a second. I am trying currently to get Uncle Sam Uncle Sam Seder on first and foremost. Okay, Sam Seder, what a fucking nightmare. Oh my God, Sam Seder, what a fucking nightmare. All right, that's what I'm trying to do right now. Unk. Here's something for Hogwatch later. Kansas Hogs beating on Biden in effigy. Yeah, we'll do that. Did you figure it? Wait, where is it? I think we figured it out. All right. Wait, what? This might not be the correct one. I'm going to give a video call hoping that this is the correct one. Hello?
Can I do this?
Yes. Oh my God, it is the correct one. I was worried because it says you've been a Discord member since like 2021.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
Sam, you are hip as hell, okay? Let me just say. Here, I
Can't see you.
will turn on my camera so you can see me. Wait, oops, wrong one. Here it is.
There it is.
Okay.
What's up?
Oh my God, Sam Seder, what a fucking nightmare. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. The real Uncle Sam, my real uncle. He's here with us on this joyous occasion. Well, not necessarily a joyous occasion, but it's a joyous occasion when you're on. But you know, the things that we will be talking about,
Excited.
the things that we're going to be talking about are not so joyous overall. So, Sam, for those of you who don't know, it has a show called The Majority Report. I love The Majority Report with Sam and Emma and everyone else. Great show. Watch it all the time. Big fan. And I wanted to have Uncle Sam on because people were saying he's a Zionist, which I thought was very funny. But that's not the real reason why I'm having you on. It's been a while since I've had you on, and I wanted to just check in, see how you guys are doing over there.
It's a shit show right now. It's really I mean, we're all doing fine on our show, but it's a really ugly time, and to have to watch this you know, every day, it's just it's painful to see this type of suffering that is that we with our tax dollars, with our government, are enabling in many respects. And so that's difficult. But, all things considered, we're doing okay.
Yeah. Couple things I wanted to get started on. So given your background as a Jewish man who is an anti-Zionist himself, I wanted to ask you a couple things because I feel like you can speak to this issue as far as like the reception from the audience in a way that I cannot, given my background as someone who is Muslim. Like I feel like there are a lot of people who are going to be more receptive, considering your track record in the space, for how many years you've been engaging in commentary, and also being a professional speaker. I think that I just wanted to touch base on your perspective on some of these issues. Starting off with Jonathan Glazer's speech. Did you watch Zone of Interest?
I did.
Yeah. He won I think Best Foreign Film.
Yeah, I think Best International.
Best International.
I mean, I don't watch the Oscars as a rule, but I did see his speech. Obviously, it's clipped, and I mean, I certainly, the big part of his statement, which was, I think by some people misconstrued, and other instances like purposefully misconstrued, was that he had said, and I'm sort of paraphrasing, but he said, "We stand here." Now, of course, the guy, he's just done. I think it was like a 7-8 year long project for him. Zone of Interest could have been 10, about Rudolf Hess's, based upon a novel about Rudolf Hess, who was the commandant of the death camp Auschwitz, and his family lived right next door to Auschwitz. And the film is really like a commentary on sort of the banality of evil, to use Hannah Arendt's title when she wrote about Eichmann, um, but about like the living next there and how that's how they just sort of live their lives,
Yeah.
without. And so the guy is is he's steeped in this, and he said, "We stand up here." I think he was talking for his producers. Um, and, and refute our Jewishness and the Holocaust. And that's where, like, apparently some reporting put a period.
Yeah,
But he
the
said,
the
we
Hollywood
refute.
Reporter, I think, or no, Variety did that, which is insane. Like, this
Insane.
is a premier establishment journalistic outlet for all things Hollywood. The fact that they would flub this quote, I don't think it's a mistake. I just like I can't chalk this up as like a simple mistake. I think that they wanted to draw that out. Like, this is a trade publication. That is what they wanted to draw out of that speech.
I mean, whether it was just like incredible incompetence or nefarious, regardless, people ran with that. And the actual statement was, we stand up here and refute our Judaism and the Holocaust being used as a shield or a justification for the onslaught. I don't know how he phrased it, in Gaza,
Yeah.
and so the idea, and that's a sentiment. I mean, um, I think that, frankly, a lot of Jews in this country and around the world feel. I mean, you hear a lot of the protesters yelling "Not in our name." That's what they're talking about. Is that the idea of of killing civilians and and what Israel is doing is really fundamentally contrary to, I think, a lot of people's perceived ideas of Judaism.
Yeah.
Aside, and certainly to see the Holocaust, which is, I went to Hebrew school 3 times a week as a kid, but Hebrew was about like number 3 or 4 on what we learned. We learned about the Holocaust. We learned about Israel. And then really cultural things about Judaism. And when I went to Hebrew school, it was only 30 years out from the Holocaust. I mean, I was 10 in 1975, and so I had teachers, Hebrew school teachers, with a number tattooed to their arm, and and the message of the Holocaust, at least that we were taught, was never again. But it wasn't just about Jews. It was supposed to be, never this type of wholesale slaughter. And so to see these things invoked as a defense or a justification for this genocide in Gaza is beyond the just sort of, I think, you don't need to be Jewish or religious or anything to find what's going on there abhorrent, but it's one more sort of indignity.
Yeah. I wanted to show you another thing from Variety. I'm going to share my screen with you right now so you can see it. You can see what I'm seeing, at least. Here it is. Hold on, let's put you back up top. This is the same Variety trade publication that claimed IDFA's artistic director apologized after protesters crash opening night with banner calling for destruction of Israel. Now, the banner that was calling for the destruction of Israel, of course, read, and this is back from November 10th, was, of course, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." Now, obviously, discourse has changed from back then, but if you recall, this was around the same time when Rashida Tlaib was censured. But as a trade publication, they still went along with this narrative that, like, saying "from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free" is actually calling for the death and destruction of Israel at a time when this was the hot button issue. So, just some ways in which I think even areas that you would not expect being political while using neutral language and objective reporting from a trade publication that like is supposed to cover Hollywood, still making an assessment, making a statement, and showing bias, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean, without a doubt. I mean, you don't need it to see it just in the context of Hollywood. I think particularly, there may be a slight change in tone in some of the news media, I think, as of late. But certainly at the beginning, and there's always been this sort of deference to Israel. And, as someone who was steeped in this as a kid, it took a long time, I think, for me to, um, to be fully conscious of that, of just how, steeped it is. I mean, I always knew there was a bias, but I think like you're really seeing in this conflict because everybody seems to be weighing in. I mean, you know, uh, you mentioned I've been doing this for a while. It's actually going to be the 20th anniversary of the Majority Report in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
And when we started it on radio, Janine Garofalo and I co-hosted the show, and we, I think we were one of the few. I mean, it's certainly even on the network, without a doubt, but anywhere on commercial media, I think we were one of the few outlets where we would regularly criticize Israel. It was not necessarily in.
In vogue.
No, it definitely wasn't in vogue. But
Yeah.
my critique, I think, has gotten more sophisticated over the years. But we got a call the day after we said anything negative about Israel from the Israeli embassy, and they wanted to send the ambassador onto the show. Guy named, I think it was Pincus, and I think he ultimately did come on to the show and listen to our critique. I mean, um, I was very critical of Sharon and uh, at that time and the occupation, broadly speaking. But I don't know that I had as much clarity on the history. I mean, I had a good friend who did a documentary
Okay.
about.
To be fair, I will say this. What you're talking about is a time that literally predates the new historian era of Israeli history, I feel like, or was like right around the time
Oh
when the new
no, that
historian.
happened around in the 80s and 90s. But I wasn't, at that age, 80s and 90s. I'm still in my teens, early 20s, and I wasn't. But it was there. I had a friend, a guy named Benny Bruner, and you can see his documentary he did. He was Israeli, I want to say Dutch, and he did the documentary that is available. Or he's done many, but one which really struck me was called "The Great Book Robbery," and it's a documentary about trying to establish that there was, in fact, a Palestinian. The land was not empty. There was no there was a Palestinian culture. There was a Palestinian
Yeah.
civilization. They had and he makes that case through all the books, Palestinian books that were stolen and are actually stored in a subterranean level in the Israeli National Library that you really can't go in and see. And it was very enlightening to me, and being aware of like because as a kid you're taught like the land was empty, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera.
For a what is it? For a land without for a people without land, for a land without people, or land without
Yeah,
people for a people without land.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And so my critique has evolved over the time. Like I don't, I mean, I think you saw this exchange I had the other day on my show. I never labeled myself a Zionist, although I think, maybe, I don't know that I was ever a Zionist, different people had maybe draw the distinctions at different points. But I never labeled myself an anti-Zionist because I don't feel like I have to participate in the you know this concept. I believe in democracy and I believe in human rights, and I believe that if you're occupying land illegal, it's illegal, and I believe in the concept of settler colonialism, and I can make an assessment. I think to the extent that I've been called an anti-Zionist, it's more by people who call themselves Zionists. But I don't have a problem with it being called an anti-Zionist. But it's not something that you know I spend time identifying myself with because, frankly, rhetorically, I don't find it um, particularly effective. And if it's not effective in me helping change people's minds, then I don't employ that type of stuff. But um, uh, it, it it's been a very clarifying time where people stand, and surprising in some instances too, to be honest with you.
So, do you mind elaborating on your own personal journey? I've talked about mine as far as like overcoming national mythology and nationalistic myths that you learn from an early age as someone who's Turkish, who grew up in Turkey, who was a product of both the private and public education system in Turkey. I have talked about my understanding of the Armenian genocide and what was taught to me and how I was how my opinion on it uh, uh, evolved from an early age, despite the attempts of indoctrination. And I was wondering if you, because I think there's a very good parallel there with respect to the Nakba and also Israel's ongoing occupation as an apartheid regime, and the way that this has evolved into full blown fascism, in my opinion. In the words not just of mine, but also a friend of both of our shows, Dr. Ofer Kasif. Um, I think that it could be illuminating for people who are on their own journey of self reflection and education. For those who are maybe on like the precipice of understanding, despite indoctrination from their schooling.
Sure. Yeah. Like I said, I'm 57, so
It doesn't show.
when I well, thank you, I appreciate that. But when I was in elementary school, I mean, I went for Hebrew education 3 days a week after regular public school, and until probably I think I was like age. I think I went through most of high school even. Um, and Reform Jew, and you know, uh, the people 30 years out. I mean, we're still very much steeped in the Holocaust, and the the idea of Israel that I was taught was a plucky sort of like David and Goliath story, and Israel surrounded on all sides by its enemies, and how much the Arabs hated the Israelis and the Jews. And it was presented as if this was a sort of like an eternal struggle of religion, and that the only thing that really saved the Israelis was their sort of like um, their superior will, and they were lucky because their enemies were not terribly smart. Like I just remember being taught this story about the Golan Heights, about how like the Israelis had spies who convinced the Syrians to grow trees on the Golan Heights because it would provide shade when they were fighting. And so the Israelis knew where to fire their weapons. I don't know how that story worked, but this is, you hear it as a child. And the idea of questioning, like, wait, how did the Jews get there? Or like, how many, like, it was all just the Holocaust happened. The UN said, here's Israel.
Damn, this guy's good.